Good morning, students of first MSc Chemistry. In the practical for organic chemistry, you have to carry out semi-micro organic mixture analysis. See, the practical is very similar to that of your organic analysis that you have done in your BSc class. After coming to MSc, we have complicated the experimental work a little bit. That is, instead of analyzing one organic compound, we are going to give two organic compounds in the form of a mixture. So instead of one organic compound for the analysis that you have done in your BSc chemistry class, you are going to analyze a mixture of organic compounds in the MSc class. First, you have to separate the organic mixture. How can you separate this organic mixture? The organic mixture can be separated based on the solubility of the organic compounds in organic solvents, as well as with the help of some inorganic reagents we can separate the mixture. See, the separation of organic mixture is primarily based on the properties of the solvent, namely diethyl ether. Diethyl ether is the organic solvent that is used in the organic analysis for the separation of the mixture. So, in MSc level, you are carrying out semi-micro organic analysis. In this semi-micro organic analysis, you are given a mixture of organic compounds. For the separation of this organic mixture, you are using diethyl ether. C2H5O C2H5. See, you must be very careful in handling this solvent. It is an organic solvent. It is an organic solvent. Diethyl ether. You must be very careful because it is highly volatile in nature and it is highly inflammable. What is the meaning of inflammable? It will catch fire easily. Petrol, kerosene. These are some of the organic fuels which will catch fire very easily. So it is highly inflammable. It will catch fire easily. I have seen many accidents in the laboratory, PG laboratory, when the students are carrying out this analysis because of the careless handling of the solvent, namely diethyl ether. So you must be very careful in handling this solvent. It will catch fire easily. See, first we have to check the solubility of this mixture of organic compounds. We have to separate. The separation is done based on the solubility of organic compounds in the solvent, namely diethyl ether. So, first we take a small portion of the mixture of organic compound. To this small portion of the organic mixture, I add 2 or 3 ml of ether, diethyl ether in a test tube. A portion of the organic mixture is taken in the test tube. To that, diethyl ether is added. If the mixture is insoluble, then your separation is over. So, this is called as pilot separation. Before going for the separation of the mixture in bulk, you carry out the pilot separation. The pilot separation helps you to carry out the bulk separation. How the pilot separation is carried out? A portion of the mixture is taken in a small test tube, 2 or 3 ml of ether is added, check the solubility. If the mixture is insoluble, then your pilot separation is over. See, I give you a mixture of compounds A and B. Both the compounds will not be insoluble. Both the compounds may be soluble. In the mixture we have compounds A and B. Both of them are soluble. Maybe both of them may be soluble. We can separate. But both of them will not be insoluble. One compound is insoluble, other compound is soluble. So, I am giving you the mixture. I know what are the compounds that are soluble in ether and what are insoluble in ether. Based on that, I will give you a mixture. I will prepare a mixture and give it for your analysis. From that, you can separate the mixture with the help of diethyl ether. See, if the mixture is insoluble, that means one compound is insoluble in ether, the other compound is soluble in ether. So, compound A is insoluble in ether. Compound B is soluble in ether. You have to take it in the tree. When I make a mixture of A and B, A may be insoluble, B is soluble. Okay? And A, it is also soluble in ether, and B, that is also soluble in ether. I will explain how these soluble compounds, both A and B, how they can be separated. For this separation only, we are using some inorganic reagents. Based on the nature of the compounds, we choose some inorganic reagents. The inorganic reagents will react with the organic compound and they can be separated. I will explain later. Now, we are having a mixture A and B. To this portion of a small portion of the mixture, 2 or 3 ml of diethyl ether is added. The mixture is found to be insoluble. That means compound A is insoluble in ether, compound B is soluble in ether. You have to take it. Okay, I will demonstrate later. Before that, I will explain. Suppose if the compound A and B both are soluble in ether, then what we have to do? We must make use of some inorganic reagents. I will explain it. See? First, the mixture is dissolved in ether. A portion of the mixture is dissolved in ether. See, the mixture is insoluble. In that case, compound A is insoluble in ether. Compound B is soluble in ether. So this is your pilot separation report. You carry out the pilot separation. See, suppose the mixture A and B both are soluble in ether. Now the mixture completely dissolves in ether, then what you have to do? See, dissolve the mixture, portion of the mixture in ether, and now to the soluble portion add bicarbonate. Sodium bicarbonate. 10% sodium bicarbonate. 2 or 3 ml of 10% sodium bicarbonate. Sodium bicarbonate, it is an inorganic compound. How can we make 10%? Dissolve 10 grams of sodium bicarbonate in 100 ml of water. You will have 10% sodium bicarbonate. It is a reagent. It is capable of reacting with carboxylic acids. So, if the mixture contains carboxylic acid, then carboxylic acids will react with sodium bicarbonate. You must understand the reaction. For example, see, benzoic acid, C6H5COOH. Suppose if you are given benzoic acid and if you add sodium bicarbonate, benzoic acid as such is soluble in ether. It is insoluble in water. So benzoic acid, if it is treated with aqueous sodium bicarbonate 10%, then what happens? This is the reaction. C6H5COO minus Na plus water plus carbon dioxide. So you get sodium salt of benzoic acid. This is soluble in water or aqueous medium. So what happens? The organic compound, the soluble mixture, the mixture is completely soluble in ether. So it is organic medium. If you add sodium bicarbonate, water and ether are immiscible. Water, aqueous medium, ether, organic medium, both are immiscible. So two layers will separate. Two layers will separate. Water being a denser liquid, it will be found in the bottom. The bottom layer is aqueous layer, the upper layer is organic layer. So in the bottom layer you will have the benzoic acid, sodium salt of benzoic acid in the aqueous medium. So add 10% sodium bicarbonate, separate the aqueous layer. Separate the aqueous layer. Now do this. If you add dilute or concentrated hydrochloric acid, what will happen? C6H5COO minus sodium salt of benzoic acid that is found in aqueous medium will react with hydrochloric acid. So C6H5COOH, benzoic acid will be again produced. You will have a precipitate. Benzoic acid is again regenerated. Pure organic compound. It is insoluble in water, so it will float over the aqueous layer. It will appear in the form of a precipitate. So separate the aqueous layer. How can we separate? I will demonstrate with the help of a dropper tube. You can demonstrate. See, you can do the pilot separation in test tubes, or you can use your semi-micro analysis separating funnel. This is your separating funnel. You can use this separating funnel also for your separation, pilot separation as well as bulk separation. It is your convenience. I will demonstrate with the help of your test tube. Later I will demonstrate the pilot and bulk separation with the help of a separating funnel. Here we have the test tube. I will demonstrate it later. See, now separate the aqueous layer, and if you add dilute HCl, you will have a precipitate. If there is precipitation, the organic compound is regenerated. So it shows the presence of carboxylic acid. It shows the presence of carboxylic acid. See? Now we have seen the pilot separation. In the pilot separation, first we saw how the insoluble compounds can be separated. if you have an insoluble compound and to the mixture if you add diethyl ether, the mixture is insoluble, the soluble portion will enter into the organic layer. Separate the organic layer, if you evaporate, you will get the compound B, which is soluble in ether. The insoluble compound, it will remain as such. The insoluble compound will remain as such. So in this way you can separate. Your bulk separation can be planned. To the bulk of the mixture, you add ether. If you add ether and stir the sample tube, or in the if you have the mixture in the beaker, you can stir it and completely separate the ether layer. Evaporate the ether layer with the help of your water bath. You will get the organic compound B. Insoluble portion will remain in the bottom. You can dry it and use it as such for your organic analysis. So the organic analysis must be carried out for two compounds, A and B. In this case, A is insoluble in ether, B is soluble. Look at this one. Both the compounds are soluble in ether. So first thing you are doing is you are adding 10% sodium bicarbonate. Separate the sodium bicarbonate layer or aqueous layer. To this, if you add dilute HCl, there is precipitation. If there is precipitation, it shows the presence of carboxylic acid. Now, how can you carry out the bulk separation? The bulk of the mixture is dissolved in ether. The mixture is completely dissolved. Till then you have to add diethyl ether. The mixture is completely dissolved in ether. Now to that, add portions of sodium bicarbonate 10%. With the help of this separating funnel, transfer the mixture dissolved in ether into the separating funnel, fill it up to the half of the volume. Okay? You are carrying out semi-micro analysis only. See, some 4 or 5 grams of the mixture will be given, not more than that. You have to carry out the bulk separation and you have to analyze the compounds. Do the analysis carefully. Don't waste the organic compound. So transfer the mixture dissolved in ether into the separating funnel. Add sodium bicarbonate and shake it vigorously, carefully. 2 layers will appear. In the bottom you will have sodium bicarbonate layer or aqueous layer. The organic compound, if it is a carboxylic acid, it will react with the sodium bicarbonate. There will be a lot of gas evolution. Release this cap carefully and release the knob. You will collect in the bottom portion, you will collect the aqueous layer. Neutralize the aqueous layer with dilute HCl or concentrated HCl. You will have the carboxylic acid. I will demonstrate one by one. Now, suppose if there is no precipitation, that means carboxylic acids are absent. Then what shall we do? Now, simple. You take sodium hydroxide, 5% sodium hydroxide. To the mixture, you add 5% sodium hydroxide. Separate the aqueous layer. How do you prepare 5% sodium hydroxide? Take 5 grams of sodium hydroxide pellets and dissolve it carefully in 100 ml of water. Take the sodium hydroxide pellets in a beaker, glass beaker. Add little portions of water. Add up to 100 ml of water and completely dissolve it. Slowly, if you add water, the sodium hydroxide pellets will immediately dissolve. There will be evolution of heat. Do it very carefully. So that is aqueous solution. Sodium hydroxide means it is aqueous solution of containing sodium hydroxide. Take that one. 5% sodium hydroxide is added. Say about some 2 or 3 ml of 5% sodium hydroxide is added. Separate the aqueous layer. and add dilute HCl. There are some organic compounds which are reacting with 5% sodium hydroxide. See, phenols, alpha-naphthol, beta-naphthol. These are some of the compounds having phenolic group. Phenols react with sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide is a strong base. It reacts with the phenol. Phenols being organic compound, they remain insoluble in water. But if you add dilute sodium hydroxide, then because of this reaction, phenols get dissolved in water. See, phenols react with sodium hydroxide. It is a strong base. Since phenols are less acidic or weakly acidic, we use a strong base. Suppose if you are given a mixture of organic acid and phenol, then you will have some difficulty. See, carboxylic acids, benzoic acid, it is also reacting with sodium hydroxide and it is converted into the sodium salt of benzoic acid and water. If you compare the acidity of carboxylic acids with the phenols, carboxylic acids are strongly acidic, whereas phenols are less acidic. That is why for the separation of carboxylic acid, I am using 10% sodium bicarbonate, which is less basic or which is a weak base. Organic acids are strong acids. They are capable of reacting with bases, weak bases. So we use first sodium bicarbonate. Whereas phenols are less acidic. They require a strong reagent, strong base. That is why we are using sodium hydroxide next. But sodium hydroxide is also capable of reacting with carboxylic acids. That is, yes, carboxylic acids are strong acids. So both of them will react. And as a result, you will have this reaction. So you remember, this is a small complication in your organic separation. You must do it very carefully. When you do the pilot separation as well as bulk separation with sodium bicarbonate, you must add sodium bicarbonate repeatedly. It is not enough that if you add sodium bicarbonate once, add 2 or 3 ml of sodium bicarbonate in portions, some twice or thrice. Repeat the separation, collect the aqueous layer in bulk and neutralize it. So before going for the separation of phenolic compounds in the mixture, if you are having a carboxylic acid, that should be removed completely. If it is not removed completely, then it will lead to a confusion in your organic analysis. Benzoic acid will react with sodium hydroxide also, and it will also give you a precipitate. So you must do it very carefully. In the analysis, you won't be given, or I can say, in the analysis, you are not given a phenolic compound, but you are given a carboxylic acid. If the separation is incomplete, then if you add sodium hydroxide, you are proceeding systematically. If sodium hydroxide, you will get a precipitate, and it will mislead to you. You will say you are given a phenolic compound. So that is wrong. So you must be very careful in doing the pilot separation as well as bulk separation. If you are given a carboxylic acid, add sodium bicarbonate repeatedly and separate the aqueous layer, neutralize it with dilute mixture. Remove the carboxylic acid completely and go for further separation. So this is a difficulty with the separation of sodium hydroxide I have explained. So if the mixture is not giving any precipitation in the sodium bicarbonate layer, then add 5% sodium hydroxide, separate the aqueous layer, neutralize it with the dilute mixture. If you get a precipitation, if there is precipitation, it shows the presence of phenolic compounds. Phenols are present in the mixture. You can separate. You can separate the phenolic compound with the help of 5% sodium hydroxide. I will explain how we can separate. Suppose if there is no precipitation, here, absence of carboxylic acid. If there is no precipitation here, absence of phenolic compound, then what shall we do? Mixture. Now add dilute HCl. We have some basic compounds like aniline or organic compounds having basic groups NH2. They are also insoluble in water, but if you add HCl, then they will be converted into their hydrochloride. Aniline will be converted into its anilinium chloride. So this is possible by reacting aniline with HCl. Nitrogen has a lone pair, automatically HCl go to positive charge. Anilinium chloride. It is how aniline is dissolved in water. So add dilute HCl to the mixture. Separate the aqueous layer. Separate and the aqueous layer with dilute sodium hydroxide. Neutralize it with dilute sodium hydroxide. If there is precipitation, then it shows the presence of basic compounds. Basic amino compounds like aniline or any other amines, primary, secondary, or tertiary amines. See, there are other organic compounds also which are not reacting with sodium bicarbonate, sodium hydroxide and hydrochloric acid, and those compounds are grouped as neutral compounds. So, if you are not getting a precipitate in any of these three tests, it shows the presence of neutral compounds. The neutral compounds are obtained by the evaporation of ether DA. Evaporation of ether. Boys, please listen. In your organic mixture analysis, you are having 4 categories of compounds. One is ether insoluble, another one is carboxylic acids, another one is phenolic compounds, another one is amines, and the last one is neutral compound. What are neutral compounds? The compounds which are not reacting with any acidic or basic reagents, that's all. We have nitrobenzene. nitro group that will not react with any of the reagents, namely HCl, sodium bicarbonate or sodium hydroxide. So that cannot be separated. That compound is called as neutral compound. Aldehydes, benzaldehyde may be given. Esters, ethyl benzoate, cinnamates, ethyl cinnamates, methyl acetate, aliphatic compound, methyl acetate. So all these compounds are neutral. Amines, organic acid, carboxylic acid, amines, they are neutral. So all these neutral compounds can be obtained by the evaporation of ether layer. So it is how you are carrying out the pilot separation. See, in the organic analysis, it is the normal practice. First, you have to carry out the pilot separation. You must submit a pilot separation report. Okay? The pilot separation report can be in detail or it can be in this format also, in this flowchart pattern also. Both are acceptable. In some of the colleges, they are asking the students to write in the form of various paragraphs, in the form of paragraphs or in the form of flowchart also. Both are acceptable. So this is a simple way of reporting the pilot separation in the form of a flowchart. You report whether if there is precipitation, presence of the compound. Absent means absence. So prepare a flowchart like this one and you can get the approval of your teacher. After getting the approval of the teacher, you can go for your bulk separation. Okay? Suppose, let us assume it this way. You are given a ether insoluble compound and ether soluble compound. From your pilot separation report, you have found that this is the mixture. That is, the mixture contains A, ether insoluble compound, B, ether soluble compound. Then how will you do it? How will you do the bulk separation? Because the mixture is dissolved in ether, the ether layer is separated. The ether insoluble compound, it will remain in the beaker or in the test tube. Okay? Add bulk of diethyl ether, dissolve it, separate the ether layer, evaporate the ether layer. You will get the ether soluble compound. The ether insoluble compound is remaining as such. You can use it for analysis after drying. Within a few minutes, the ether will go away. Suppose if both the compounds are soluble in ether, then how will you do the analysis? Pilot separation. If both the compounds are soluble in ether, then dissolve the mixture in ether, add sodium bicarbonate in bulk, separate the aqueous layer and neutralize it with dilute HCl. Remember, again and again, you must add sodium bicarbonate in portions and separate the aqueous layer, sodium bicarbonate layer completely and add dilute HCl. You will get the carboxylic acids. Suppose, according to the pilot separation report, if you are given a phenolic compound, carboxylic acid is not found in the mixture. If you are given phenolic compound, then what you have to do? Add sodium hydroxide to the bulk of the mixture, dilute sodium hydroxide 5%. Separate the aqueous layer, neutralize it with dilute HCl. Suppose you are not given carboxylic acid as well as phenol, then one possibility is you may be given basic compound. Add dilute HCl to the bulk of the mixture, separate the aqueous layer, neutralize it with sodium hydroxide. The basic organic compound, it will appear in the form of precipitate or it will float. If it is a liquid, and it is a liquid, normally it will float in the surface. You can separate it with the help of separating funnel. Suppose if you are not getting any of these three then the fourth possibility is neutral compound. Students, please remember, in your analysis you will not be given two neutral compounds. One compound may be neutral. So if I give two neutral compounds, then how can you separate? You cannot separate. So, you will get either a insoluble compound or a compounds that can be separated by sodium bicarbonate, or a compound separated by sodium hydroxide, or a compound separated by sodium dilute HCl. So, your compound, one compound may be either ether insoluble. If the mixture is soluble in ether, one compound may be a carboxylic acid, another compound may be a phenolic compound, or another compound may be a basic compound. Okay, you will get one of the compound in any of these four, and the last one may be a neutral compound. So you will have only one neutral compound. You can do the separation without any complication easily. Please remember this part. Okay, so how can you separate the neutral compound? Neutral compound will remain in the ether layer because you have dissolved the mixture completely in ether layer in bulk. So nearly you will have some 20 to 25 ml of ether. To that you have added, first you check the solubility. You know if the mixture is completely soluble, then you add sodium bicarbonate, separate the aqueous layer, neutralize it. No precipitation means, once again, from the pilot separation report, add sodium hydroxide. If you are given a phenolic compound, separate the aqueous layer, neutralize HCl, you will get bulk. The other compound is remaining in ether layer. Evaporate the ether layer. We have a water evaporator, water bath. You put the bulk of the mixture in a beaker or in a crucible, leave it over the water bath. Within a few minutes, the ether will evaporate and you will get the neutral compound. Okay, so you have good number of neutral compound also. You may be given the neutral compound in your analysis. Shall we go for the demonstration? Right? Yes, students. Now I give you a demonstration of the pilot as well as bulk separation. See, in this test tube I have taken a portion of the mixture that is given for analysis. To this small portion of the mixture I add diethyl ether and check the solubility. See, I add 2 or 3 ml of diethyl ether, the solvent. Let us check the solubility. If you shake the test tube like this, you can see whether the mixture is soluble in ether or not. See, in the bottom portion, we can see the major quantity of the substance that is taken, mixture that is taken for the pilot separation. So it is very clear that the mixture contains a insoluble compound. The soluble compound is in the ether layer. I can separate the ether layer with the help of a dropper tube like this one. See, for the organic analysis, I always request the students to go for a clinical dropper. The clinical dropper is very effective in carrying out the pilot separation. So, the tip should reach the organic layer and you can remove the organic layer like this. The organic layer contains the ether soluble compound. You can completely remove the organic layer like this. See, I have taken a mixture. The mixture is dissolved in ether. Major portion of the organic mixture is found to be insoluble. So the compound A is insoluble. This is your organic layer. This contains compound B which is soluble in ether. Watch these test tubes. Let us go further. Now I demonstrate the pilot separation report. I have taken a mixture of organic compound. Let me check the solubility with ether. See, you must be very careful. Some of the organic compounds are corrosive, especially phenolic compounds. If they are given, they are corrosive. I have taken a non-corrosive compound. I know it. That's why I am using my fingers. You can see, the major portion of the mixture is found to be insoluble in ether. So compound A is insoluble. Let us find out what is compound B. Compound B is completely soluble in ether. So separate the compound B with the help of a dropper cube. Wash it. Open this one. There should not be any contamination. So wash the dropper cube then and there. A beaker. Give me a beaker, 100 ml beaker. Transfer the organic layer like this. Transfer the organic layer with the help of a dropper. See, diethyl ether is a highly volatile compound. I have taken the organic layer only. Due to evaporation, the compound present in the organic layer is appearing here. You can see, this is the compound B that is present. When the compound A is insoluble, compound B is soluble, the soluble compound appears here. Now let us find the nature of this compound. What is the nature of this one? To this I am adding a portion of sodium bicarbonate. See, you can see two layers. As I already told you, organic layer is having less density, it will appear in the upper side. Water being denser, it will appear in the bottom portion. So, shake it. You have added sodium bicarbonate. Suppose if the organic compound is a carboxylic acid, it will react with sodium bicarbonate and it will come to the aqueous layer. Let us shake it. If there is any gas evolution, from that you can confirm that the given organic compound is a carboxylic acid. Because see, there is gas evolution. I have taken a carboxylic acid only. Why there is gas evolution? Reaction of sodium bicarbonate with benzoic acid or any carboxylic group. See, there is gas evolution. Now, separate the aqueous layer. If you are confident, you can see this is the organic layer. You can separate the organic layer. If you are confident, then you can separate the aqueous layer first. You can leave some portion. See, we want the aqueous layer only. Let us see how the aqueous layer can be separated. Press the dropper cube and insert. The dropper cube must reach the bottom. Now you release the dropper tube. You can see, I made a mistake. Once again we will repeat. It's a mistake. Because of the lack of practice, I have done it. I am not doing it regularly. Once in a year I give you a demonstration. See, once again. Press the dropper tube and insert the dropper tube to the bottom. Gently release. The aqueous layer is going up. Now you have taken the aqueous layer, transfer it. Check whether one layer is appearing. See, we have the aqueous layer. Here also we have the aqueous layer. Major portion is taken. Now let us confirm whether there is any precipitation in the aqueous layer. To this I am adding dilute HCl. So the aqueous sodium bicarbonate layer must be neutralized with hydrochloric acid. There is vigorous reaction. I think the hydrochloric acid is so dilute, it is insufficient to, oh, yes, yes. Now you can see, there is white precipitation. That means the organic compound has come out of the aqueous layer. So it shows the presence of carboxylic acid. How do you say that it is carboxylic acid? Because you have taken the compound in aqueous layer, aqueous sodium bicarbonate layer, that is neutralized with hydrochloric acid. There is precipitation. Precipitation confirms the presence of carboxylic acid according to the pilot report. Now, what I do is, I take a mixture of organic compounds. See, this is a mixture of organic compound. I have taken two compounds. One is a solid, another one is a liquid. To this I am adding ether. Such mixtures are also given for your organic analysis. I add ether. If I add ether, you can see. Yes. The mixture is slowly dissolving in ether. I have taken a portion of the organic mixture. The mixture is slowly dissolving in ether. Since the volume is very large, I will demonstrate it with the help of a separating funnel. You can also make use of the separating funnel for your pilot separation. So from this you will understand how the separating funnel can be used for both the pilot separation as well as bulk separation. See, the mixture is completely dissolved. I have taken a mixture. One is a solid, another one is a liquid. You can see them clearly because it was not dissolved in ether. In the class, we will give you the mixture which is dissolved in ether. You will add ether also. Sometimes you may have only one layer, the organic layer only, in which both the compounds are dissolved. So see, the mixture is completely dissolved in ether. I transfer this one to a separating funnel. This is the separating funnel. With this I demonstrate how we can carry out, how we can carry out the pilot separation as well as bulk separation. See, the mixture is completely dissolved in ether. Now to this I am adding a little quantity of sodium bicarbonate. This is sodium bicarbonate. I add sodium bicarbonate in portions. Some more. See, the sodium bicarbonate is already concentrated. Let me add some water so that the sodium bicarbonate can be diluted. Yes. Now we can see two layers. Shake it. We can see two layers. The upper brownish layer is your organic layer. The organic compound is present there. Mixture is present there. We have the aqueous layer. Suppose if I am having a carboxylic acid, it will react with sodium bicarbonate. Carboxylic acid will come to the aqueous layer. Now let us shake it. We must facilitate the separation of organic compound with sodium bicarbonate. Shake it. Tilt the separating funnel like this and release gently. You can see there is gas evolution. It is because of the sodium bicarbonate. Okay? No gas evolution. That means the reaction is over. Okay? The reaction will be very vigorous if I am having a carboxylic acid. Already you have seen. Now release it carefully and transfer the bottom portion, allow it to settle. Transfer the bottom portion into a test tube. Yes. Slowly release the knob. Do it carefully. You can see. Yes, now close it. Now close it. Get up. Okay? Let us release. Later we will release this one. Now this is your aqueous layer. We have taken sodium bicarbonate. Make use of a trifoil stand for keeping the separating funnel. You give me corn HCl because it is so concentrated. Give me corn HCl, concentrated hydrochloric acid. I am adding concentrated dilute hydrochloric acid to neutralize this one. See, there is vigorous reaction. Sodium bicarbonate reacts with HCl. So there will be vigorous reaction. But there is no precipitation. That means the compound is not a carboxylic acid. I am not given a carboxylic acid in the mixture. I have not taken a carboxylic acid. Since the volume of sodium bicarbonate is higher, I add a few drops of corn HCl to neutralize it. Yes, few drops of corn HCl. Even after adding corn HCl, there is no separation. That means carboxylic acids are not given. I have not taken carboxylic acid. Keep it. So, I have not given carboxylic acid. I have confirmed it from the pilot separation. Now what I do is, we have the mixture still in the ether. What is left over? The leftover possibilities are the compound may be a phenolic one, it may be a basic compound, and the last choice is neutral compound. So I have two compounds in these three categories. I have to remove the aqueous layer because the aqueous layer is sodium bicarbonate, that has to be removed. I remove it. Yes. Now we have the pure aqueous layer only. Let us wait. When you are doing the separation with the separating funnel, you should do it slowly. See whether one layer is appearing. Only one layer. We have the organic layer only. Aqueous layer is completely left. Now I am adding the second reagent. What is the second reagent? Sodium hydroxide. I add sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide is also concentrated. We should add 5% sodium hydroxide only. So I add some more water. Yes. We have two layers. One is organic layer and another one is aqueous layer. Release it carefully. The knob should be on the upper side, the bottom portion. It should be in the upper side. You can see there is gas evolution. You can see the gas evolution. Two layers will appear slowly. Yes. Please remember, diethyl ether is an organic solvent having less density. So, it will always appear in the upper side. Aqueous solvent has a higher density, it will appear in the bottom portion. See the coloration, now it is reversed. Originally we had the brown color, brown is red color in the upper side, that means the compound is in the organic layer. Now the color has come to the bottom, that means the compound has dissolved in the aqueous layer. You must notice all these changes. See, the aqueous layer is in the bottom, it is colored. It is not colorless, that means the organic compound is transferred. So, if you add sodium hydroxide, and if the organic compound is reacting with the sodium hydroxide, then what it is? This here? What it is? What is it? It is a phenolic compound. It is a phenolic compound. So, we may have a phenolic compound. Let us check it. Once again, let us shake it. Let me see. Slowly, the aqueous layer will come down to the come down. Organic layer will go up. Let us see. So, in a test tube, I am collecting the bottom aqueous layer. Suppose, if you have a doubt whether the upper one is a organic layer, since the thickness is very less, you can add some more ether, nothing wrong in it. You can add some more ether and shake it. You will have more volume of organic layer, nothing wrong in it. But don't waste the chemicals unnecessarily. So I am collecting the aqueous layer, which is in the bottom. That is a aqueous layer containing sodium hydroxide. You can see, yes, the major portion of aqueous layer is collected. Now I am neutralizing the aqueous layer with the dilute HCl. Let us try with dilute HCl. If the concentration is more, see, you can see there is some turbidity. That means there is regeneration of an organic compound. There is precipitation. It shows that the organic compound is phenolic. The mixture contains a phenolic compound because there is precipitation after separating the aqueous layer containing sodium hydroxide and neutralizing it with dilute HCl. You can see the precipitation. This compound is a phenolic compound, so don't touch it. Little bit corrosive. So there is precipitation. You can see the white precipitation. Still you have to go. This portion must be neutralized. From this itself it is very clear. Okay? So this confirms the presence of phenolic compound. Always remember this caution. I have given you a caution. When you are separating carboxylic acids, you must use sodium bicarbonate repeatedly. Otherwise, if there is incomplete precipitation, then the sodium bicarbonate, the organic compound, carboxylic acid, will come in this layer also. Organic compound, if it is a carboxylic acid, if the separation is incomplete, that will react with sodium hydroxide also. Strong acid, strong base. So it will react with sodium hydroxide also. Sometimes you may not have phenolic compound, but you will get a precipitate. It is because of the impurity of carboxylic acid. So if you get an answer for carboxylic acid, do the pilot separation and bulk separation with sodium bicarbonate repeatedly, 3 or 4 times. One indication is even after adding sodium bicarbonate and shaking it, suppose if there is no gas evolution, means the mixture is completely separated into the aqueous sodium bicarbonate layer. So there is precipitation. It confirms the presence of phenol and I have separated it completely, and this organic layer contains the other compound. It may be a basic compound or neutral. It may be a basic compound or neutral. See the organic layer. If I evaporate, I will get the compound B. If I evaporate, I will get compound B. So in the same way, you can do the neutralization with ether, with diethyl ether. Suppose I am taking a mixture where two compounds are mixed and both are soluble in ether. Let me watch the separating funnel. I am taking a mixture of organic compound. For demonstration purpose, I am taking two organic compounds which are liquid. Open. Yes, close it. I have taken a mixture of organic compounds. See, this is the mixture. Portion of the mixture is taken. Okay? Let us do the pilot separation with this one. First, let us add diethyl ether. We have taken larger volume, it is almost equal to the bulk separation. See? The mixture is completely dissolved in diethyl ether. So you are given a mixture which is soluble completely in ether. Absence of insoluble compound. Okay. To this what we have to do? We must add aqueous sodium bicarbonate. Separate the sodium bicarbonate layer and neutralize it. If there is precipitation, it shows the presence of carboxylic acid. I have not taken a carboxylic acid for want of time in this video. I am not repeating the demonstration. Okay? So, if I add sodium bicarbonate, shake it and separate the aqueous layer and neutralize it with the dilute HCl, no precipitation. Absence of carboxylic acid. If I add sodium hydroxide, if I separate the aqueous layer and neutralize it with HCl, what compound is present?
Phenolic.
Phenolic compound is present. For want of time, I am avoiding that one also because I have not taken the phenol also. So the remaining compounds are a basic compound and neutral one. Let us see how it can be separated. See, how can we separate the basic compound? Add dilute HCl. So if I add dilute HCl, see I have taken dilute HCl in this reagent bottle, I add dilute HCl. This is almost this almost looks like our bulk separation. Anyhow, you can see it clearly. There is reaction. If there is gas evolution, there is reaction. That means the HCl, aqueous HCl I have taken reacts with the organic compound. One compound is basic, the other compound is neutral. You can simply say the other compound is neutral. Okay? Check the separating funnel till there is no gas evolution. No gas evolution. That means the reaction is over. Now we can stop. Close the knob. You see. You can see two layers developing. One is the organic layer containing organic compound. Another one is the aqueous layer. If it is a phenolic compound, because of the addition of sodium hydroxide, slowly the phenolic compound from the organic layer will come to the aqueous layer. See? If it is not still clear, you can add some more water. To increase the volume of aqueous layer, you can add some more water. The shadow, yellow shadow is appearing. Now transfer, give me a small 100 ml beaker. 100 ml beaker. Now transfer the aqueous layer. Put it. Kota. Yes. Let us transfer the aqueous layer into a 100 ml beaker. Yes. So the aqueous layer is very clear. There is no organic layer. Now what I do is, I am neutralizing this aqueous layer. What is this aqueous layer? HCl layer. Dilute hydrochloric acid layer. To this I am adding sodium hydroxide. It has to be neutralized with? Yes, this one. Sodium hydroxide. Just drops of sodium hydroxide. You can see the turbidity. See? You can see a colored appearance on the upper layer. Oily layer. Colored oily layer. That means the organic compound is slowly coming out. It is insoluble in water. After neutralization with sodium hydroxide, the organic compound is coming. In the bulk separation, you may have a doubt. How can we get back this organic compound if it is a liquid? This is aqueous layer. Organic compound is a liquid. See, it is floating. Once again, you make use of the separating funnel. Transfer this one into a separating funnel. Release the aqueous layer. You will get the organic compound. Okay? In this way, you can separate. Or if you have the confidence, you can make use of this dropper tube also. You can collect. If the volume is larger, you can collect. It is better to be on the safer side. Since a beginner, make use of the separating funnel. Transfer this one to a separating funnel. Suppose if the volume is less, then how can we increase the volume of organic layer? Simple. Add diethyl ether. Once again add. This is containing only one compound. Add diethyl ether. The compound is soluble in ether. Okay, the volume will increase. And you can separate it very easily. See, I am adding a little bit diethyl ether. Yes. Now you can see the organic layer. With the help of a glass rod, you can still. Suppose if you have a doubt whether there is any incomplete neutralization, with the help of a glass rod, you can still. And you can see. See, the organic layer is floating. If you have added ether, then leave it for some time. The ether layer will evaporate. After separating the organic compound, leave it for some time. The ether layer will evaporate. You can use the compound. Here in this case, I have taken a liquid. That's why it is floating. If it is a solid basic compound, you will get a precipitate. See, there are some compounds which are having very low melting point. So because of this process, sometimes you may be given a solid, but after precipitation due to neutralization, the compound will appear in the form of a liquid. Don't get confused. There are some low melting solids. When I am giving you the mixture, they will appear in the form of a solid. But when you go for the separation and after doing separation, they may be in the form of liquid. Right? So now if you transfer these to a separating funnel, the organic layer that can be separated with the help of a separating funnel. So what is remaining? Another organic compound. What is that compound? This is obtained by the neutralization of separation of HCl, aqueous layer, HCl layer is separated and neutralized with sodium hydroxide. So it is a basic compound. What about this one? A neutral compound. We have many neutral compounds. It may be a aldehyde, it may be a ester, or it may be a ketone. Okay, nitro compounds, they are all neutral. Amides, amides are also neutral. Amides, anilides, they are all neutral compounds. They may be in the ether layer. So it is how you must carry out the pilot as well as bulk separation. Okay? Bulk separation is to be done with the help of a separating funnel. After doing the pilot separation report, get it approved from your teacher. If the teacher approves the pilot separation, then go for bulk separation according to the pilot separation. Okay, you must show it to me. I will verify whether the pilot separation is correct or not. If the pilot separation is correct, then I will ask you to go for bulk separation. Okay? Today I will give you a mixture, small quantity of mixture. You learn the pilot separation first, and then you go for the bulk separation. I will give some 2 or 3 mixtures. Learn the pilot separation and bulk separation, and after that we can go for the complete analysis. Okay? That's what we are going to do now. With this, the video is over. Close it.